I am playing through every Pokemon game, catching every Pokemon and defeating every Pokemon League. Welcome to Piney's Pokemon Adventure. When we left off, President Stone of the Devon Company had just tasked me with delivering a letter to Stephen in Dewford and some Devon parts to Captain Stern in Slateport City. Before I do that, however, there are a couple of other things I would like to get done. The first of these is to obtain the Cut HM from the man who lives next to the Rustboro Pokemon Center. This allows me to explore a couple of previously unavailable areas, the most important being the northeast section of Petalburg Woods, where I can get a hold of the Miracle Seed. The Miracle Seed boosts the power of all grass-type attacks used by the holder. I give one to Fighter the Shrewish, and one to Lorne the Grovyle, who I evolved by grinding in Rosturf Tunnel. On the way out of Rustboro, my rival offers to battle in Emerald. After mopping the floor with him, I went Pokemon hunting down in Petalburg Woods and Route 102. I went out hunting for a second Slakoth and a second Routes. This is because there is a trade in Rustboro for a very special Pokemon, Slakoth for Makuhita in Ruby and Sapphire, and Routes for Seedot in Emerald. While getting Makuhita only a little bit early is pretty cool, that's not why I want these guys. The reason I want these Pokemon is because they have boosted Pokemon contest stats, and I am really keen to sink my teeth into the Hoenn contest route, but more on that later. It's time to sail to Dewford. To deliver the letter to Stephen, I must trek through Dewford Cave. One problem with this is that in order to navigate said cave, I need access to HM5 Flash, which I need to defeat Brawly to be able to even use. What followed was a very short grinding session, only by a couple of levels. In this grinding session, Saber the Poochyena evolved into Mightyena, which was amazing. It was then time to take on Brawly. Ruby first. I open with Dynava Tailo and set a focused energy against Brawly's Machop, who sets a bulk up. I then proceed to hit it with Wing Attack a couple times. One Karate Chop from Machop is all it took for Dyna to go down. This was not what I had planned. Not remotely. I sent out Dewey the Surskit as Brawly heals up his Machop. I'm left with no choice but to spam Bubble and hope I make it. Eventually my Surskit goes down and I still haven't made it through his first Pokemon. Kicklet out next and I start spamming Peck for that super effective flying damage. After defeating the Machop with 1 HP remaining, I use a Super Potion to heal up Kicklet and return to hitting Peck. 2 turns is all it took for Makuhita to go down and the badge to be mine. Side note, I am really sorry for the footage upcoming. I recorded it on the bus. With that out of the way, it's time for Sapphire. I've been switch training Claudia the Swablu to prepare it for being transferred to Emerald, and I forgot to swap it out of the first mission in my party. So the battle began with me having to quickly fix that, using Machop's bulk up turn as a free switch into Swooper the Wingull. With Swooper, I set Confuse Ray and started hitting Wing Attack, very quickly doing away with Brawly's Machop. Next out is Makuhita, and I unfortunately missed my first Confuse Ray, landing the second one at the cost of letting it get in a bulk up. With its defense risen by 2, it was a lot harder to deal with Makuhita using just Wing Attacks, especially since Brawly still had both his potions. After having to set yet another Confuse Ray after my opponent stepped out, I did eventually manage to score myself the win by way of Wing Attack. Emerald o'clock. Brawly opens with Machop and me with Abigail the Routes. 2 confusions and Machop is done. Next up, Meditite. I switch into Saber the Mightyena. Spamming Bite worked more than well enough, especially since the only way to beat Meditite is to keep breaking its focus. So, while Brawly did pop both of his super potions on the thing, I didn't actually lose a single hit point fighting it. After Meditite came the Makuhita, which, as you can probably guess, was dealt with easily enough with Abigail and Confusion, winning me the badge. After winning, it was then time to venture into Dewford Cave, delivering a letter to Stephen. But first, I needed a catch. Geodude, Zubat, and Aaron in all 3 games, Mawile in Ruby, who I added to my team by the name of Siren, Sableye and Makuhita in Emerald and Sapphire, as Ruby already had a Makuhita received from the trade in Rustboro. Since I'm putting other catches here, I should mention that I also obtained the Old Rod. This allowed me to catch Magikarp in all 3 games, as well as Tentacool and Goldeen in Sapphire, simply because I was playing that one specifically while I was out and about in the city on Saturday. I find Stephen in the final room of Dewford Cave and deliver his letter, an effort he rewards with the TM for Steel Wing. This is as good a time as any to set sail to Slateport and meet with Captain Stern. Making it to Slateport City, I defeat all the trainers on the beach, obtaining the soft sand on the way and giving it to Lotto the Mudkip. I attempt to deliver the Devon parts to Stern, but he isn't there. Turns out he's actually in the museum. Upon entering the museum, I find it overrun by evil Team Grunts, Magma in Ruby and Aqua in Sapphire and Emerald. I deliver the parts to Captain Stone and fight off a couple Grunts. This is where I'm introduced to Team Magma and Team Aqua's leaders, Maxie and Archie respectively. Archie wishes to expand the sea and Maxie the land. Naturally, the two are at odds with each other. On the way out of the museum, one of the Grunts gives me the TM4 Thief. And that's it. Next week, I'm going to venture forth in search of my third badge, some electric Pokemon, and excessive gambling. I'll see you there. Postscript. There is one glaring thing to mention in this week's postscript. Last week I mentioned my shiny hunt for Whismur in Rosturf Tunnel, and I'm here to provide an update. With 9 days remaining in the event that I'm currently hunting for, I found it. I found the Whismur in my Sapphire save. My little pink and green goober, who is currently nameless. I submitted him for approval in the event, and last time I checked, I'm currently winning. This is my first successful Generation 3 shiny hunt and my third ever shiny in Generation 3 as a whole. I am so incredibly happy with myself. Other than that, no updates. I'll see you next week.